guys. So the purpose of this video is to talk about a subject that I'm very passionate about, which is reading. And I'm a big reader myself, and I just kind of wanted to share my thoughts about reading and kind of what I've learned about reading, and maybe it's kind of an effort to persuade some of you who are watching to read a little bit more. A student from Nebraska University once asked Bill Gates, if you could have any superpower, what would you want to have? What superpower would you want? And Bill Gates responded, I wish I could read books faster. And Warren Buffett, the richest man in the world, was also there, and he agreed with Bill. And it really says something when two of the richest guys in the entire world, they wouldn't say something like, oh, I want to fly, I want super strength. They say, oh, I want to be able to read faster. Because there truly is tremendous power with reading. And so if you look at some of the richest, most successful people in the world, they're mostly all readers. They all spend time reading. I think there's a connection there. Why would some of the richest people be readers? And I don't know. It doesn't have to be like a success-oriented thing. I think you should read because you enjoy it. And so maybe you're not interested in becoming a gigantic business person. Maybe you're interested in becoming an artist or a musician or something like that. But find books that are relevant to you. When you read a book, sometimes it's taking the wisdom that another person has accumulated over years and years of research, study, or practice, and it's basically reading the perspective of someone else. And there's some great people that chances are you're unlikely to ever meet them in person, and so by reading their book, you're able to see behind go into their life and see what they see and see their perspective on life. And there's so many unique perspectives on life, and there's so many just unique people out there and unique books. And so every time you read a book by one of these people, it helps to expand your perspective and your web of connections. And I think expanding that knowledge base, that web of connections, is probably one of the most beneficial things you can do, because once you have that knowledge base, then you can use that knowledge base towards any end. Yeah. I think the best way to make yourself actually sit down and read is to just create a habit out of it. I like to read probably the last hour before I go to bed. I'll lie in bed and I'll just read a book. I'll read 20-30 pages, and it's a good way to end your day. And I'll try and have as many reading sessions as I can, but just create a habit. It's really not that hard. Just make the time for it. I like Jim Rohn, the motivational speaker. I like his idea of collecting a nice library and basically collecting all the books that you learn from, and then just create a really nice library and then take care of it, and then that's something you can pass on to your kids and your grandkids, and it's kind of a legacy. And so creating an archive, creating a library. I write in my journals too. I'm going to save all my journals and combine it with the library that I create over time, just one book at a time, and I'm going to eventually pass it on to my kids and to my grandkids. And so there's that aspect of it, of being a book collector, and I think that's pretty cool. That's why I like actually reading hard copies over reading on Kindle or so, because I just like having the physical hard copy. Yeah, so not only can you read a book because you're interested in the subject, but you can also read books to solve problems within your life. For example, what if you're a college student and you don't know how to pay for college? I would suggest look and find a book that talks about how to pay for college, and then start proactively take control of your life. Basically, read a book. If you're broke and you can't pay rent, start reading books on personal finance. If you don't know how to stay consistent with your habits, read a book about habits. If you're if you're struggling to build genuine relationships within your life, or take that relationship to the next level, read a book on relationships. And so you can use books also as a tool to solve issues in your life. Reading text is really important, but in this day and age, audio is starting to take over. I'm subscribed to YouTube Red, and it basically allows me to turn my screen off with the YouTube app, and I listen to podcasts. I work for the Parks Department, and when I'm mowing lawns and stuff, I'll listen to audio, and I'll listen to motivational speakers, I'll listen to podcasts, I'll listen to ebooks. And so you don't even really have to be able to read to be able to read. If you just listen to the audio when you're driving to work or when you're in the gym, instead of listening to music all the time, you can listen to some audio and actually learn and feed your brain. Fiction versus nonfiction. They're both really good. Sometimes you can learn more lessons from a fictional story than from a nonfiction self-help book. And it really depends on what you're interested in, what you're trying to learn, what goals you have. And I like to read both. I haven't been reading as much fiction lately, but I started reading fiction, and I read mainly nonfiction now. But yeah, they're both beneficial, and they both have pros and cons. So I would not say that one is better than the other. There's some really great novels out there, and there's also some really great self-help books out there. So I wouldn't pick one or over the other, because they're both really great forms of reading. I think a lot of people perceive reading as something that's boring, but I think the people who say that don't actually read interesting books. Could be maybe the people who say that reading is boring are people who were forced to read when they were kids and they didn't actually start reading in subjects that they're actually interested in. Because almost every person I meet has some interest in one area or another, and all you have to do is find a book on that subject. Some people are into music, so read a book on music. Some people are into lifting, read a book on lifting. Some people are into biology, rhinos, read a book about rhinos. It doesn't have to be black and white. Oh, I have to read. If you look at reading like that, then you're not going to like it. But if you see the enormous potential for developing yourself that reading offers, then I think that's how I get through so many books a year, just because I realize that how beneficial it is to read these books and how much of an improvement my life is going to make just by virtue of being introduced to these new ideas and concepts. Moving forward, I think I'm going to start doing book reviews for all the books that I read and all the books I have read, because what better way to document all the books I read than by making a video about it. And just the process of making a video is going to make me review each book that I read, and it's going to help me personally internalize the lessons I've learned from the books. And also, I think it'd be really cool to share what I've learned with you guys. Thank you guys for watching this video all the way to the end. I know this is my second video, so every video I'm trying to get just a little bit better. It's a work in progress, and I'm still learning how to edit better and how to be comfortable in front of the camera. But I really do appreciate those of you who have spent like 10 minutes out of your day just to watch this video. And I'm going to keep making these videos, keep getting better. Link down below. I've linked 5 books on Amazon that I personally think are very good books, with kind of a short description of what these books are about, just in case. Hopefully I've inspired someone to pick up a book, but sometimes it's hard to know where to start, so I've included 5 links down below just in case you want to start your own library. Thanks again to all of you who are still watching. This is the end of this video. If you liked what I'm doing, just leave a like on this video and give me some feedback. Write a comment down below. I'm going to read every comment, And I would appreciate if you have some thoughts or feedback or just something to say, just write a short comment down below, and I'll read them all and I'll try and respond. And I'll see you guys in the next one.
I'm the type of dude who will not remain nameless. I'm the type of dude who is headed for greatness. I'm the type of dude who could really make changes, cause I'm the type of dude that's becoming contagious. I'm the type of dude that will always be ageless. I'm the type of dude that will always feel shameless. I'm the